As we walk, we see, feel, and breathe in the power of an intact forest. The air is cool and moist. The undergrowth is green and lush, providing shade and shelter.
The forest is our natural air conditioner. You can feel the difference in temperature going from a clear-cut area to a forested area. The difference is extreme, especially on a hot day. In the winter, the forests are protection for the animals in storms and cold. Much colder in the clear cuts, more exposed. Warmer in the forested areas. The warmth of a tree to the touch surprised me the first time.
In stark contrast, we enter the clear cut, hot, dry, and dusty. Mosaic had to replant after the first set of seedlings did not survive the heat and drought.
Small strips of trees are left between clear cuts. The remaining standing trees are now vulnerable to wind and storms, causing them to fall prematurely. Broom loves clear cuts. It thrives in full sun and poor soil. Native plants disappearing in the cleared areas, now being taken over by Scotch broom and Himalayan blackberry.
The CVRD's 2019 hazard study pointed out that we have 28 watersheds on the mountains above Youbou. It was found that 15 of them were affected by debris flows, and another 9 were transitional between debris flow and debris flood. We see culverts full of rocks, as well as washouts coming from the clear cuts and logging roads. Severe weather events are expected to increase as the climate emergency deepens, raising concerns about the cumulative effects of these types of slides on the watersheds. Youbou's groundwater drinking source is an underground aquifer, which is fed as water seeps through the layers of earth and porous rock. If the hills above it are clear-cut, then sprayed with Roundup or glyphosate, we fear that too will seep into the aquifer. The CVRD's water manager has agreed to Save Our Homes' request that the aquifer be tested for glyphosate in its yearly testing protocol.
Watersheds are protected by the trees, stabilizing the hillside. In the late 80s, the watershed above Youbou Creek was logged. The water coming into our houses was dark brown with heavy silt. This went on for several weeks.
An intact forest continues to release water from rain and melting snow into the watershed through the dry months. Changes at the headwaters are felt down the streams and creeks to the river and lake. More and more frequently, salmon fry are left high and dry, requiring rescue to get to a source of water. The Cowichan Lake lamprey is threatened by years of logging that creates runoff and sediment problems. The Species at Risk Act protects them and their habitat with an action plan and a risk team that is charged with preventing their extinction. The same things that are threatening the lamprey are threatening the entire watershed. So if we work hard to preserve the lamprey's habitat, things get better for all those who depend on abundant clean water. If we care about this creature enough, we all reap the benefits in the end.
All cycles of the forest are important, from seedling to death. The seedling develops from the fertility of the dying old growth. A village thrives on a rotting old tree. Insects, vegetation, lichens, etc., which feeds the birds and animals. The old tree protects the smaller creatures. The old tree feeds the soil. If you tug at one thing in nature, you will find it's connected to everything else.
Looking forward, I urge Mosaic to make decisions about these forests that will reduce the effects of climate change, relieve pressures on fish and wildlife, revitalize communities, and repair our relationship with the natural world.